Chad Scott along with Gridiron Now recruiting analyst Ryan Green, and we continue to take a look forward to the 2018 signing day. And Alabama, now don't freak out Tide fans, it's not going to stay this way, but Alabama right now in a position it's definitely not used to being in, last in the SEC at anything, let alone recruiting.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, Chad. Right now, of the 14 SEC schools for the class of 2018, you look at the rankings per conference, more times than not on these ranking boards, Alabama's 14th. Below Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Missouri. Right now, Alabama, 2 commitments for 2018. You compare that with, say, LSU, who has 16 commitments for 2018.
Why do you think that is the case right now?
You know, a lot of these kids that I talk to are making their Final Fives and their Final Tens, and almost across the board, Alabama is in the Final Five and Final Ten of a lot of uncommitted guys. For whatever reason, the guys that wanted to pull the trigger and commit very early did not choose Alabama. But almost verbatim, you talk about the top 150, 200 players in the country that have not committed yet, Alabama is on a majority of those lists. They're going to finish very strong. You know that they will. But it is interesting that right now, as we stand here in early June of 2017, they're dead last in the conference.
Well, something else also to consider, and Nick Saban mentioned this at the SEC spring meetings, is Alabama's going to take fewer players in this class than they've ever taken under Saban. They're looking at something like 22. That's a very low number. So when your numbers are low, you've got to be more careful with who you offer, more careful with how you manage that, because you don't want to get to a situation where you're full in December, or you have to ask someone to leave. So it's a different sort of year for Alabama. But like you said, come the first Wednesday in February 2018, they'll be right at the top with any other program in the SEC or the nation. So let's talk about some of the guys who they are still hot after, and we'll start with an in-state running back.
Yeah, Asa Martin's a young man. Actually played at Bradenton IMG Academy for a couple of years. Went back to the state of Alabama. He's down to a Final 3. His Final 3 is Alabama, Auburn, and Florida. He released that on Twitter, I believe, late last week. So Alabama, that's one of the guys, an uncommitted guy that Alabama is in the Final 3 for. I believe at the end of the day, it could go any one of those 3 ways. It could be Alabama, Auburn, or Florida. I think he's very much in the air right now.
All right, Alabama, as usual, trying to go into Louisiana, cherry pick some top prospects there. Alabama and LSU going head-to-head on a number of players this class, as they typically do. You had a chance to catch up with a tight end out of the New Orleans area who has an interesting story.
Glenn Beal, yeah, he has Alabama and LSU among his top 5, his top 6 schools that he has left remaining. Glenn made an interesting point in that he lives in New Orleans, so he feels there's a little pressure on him to go to LSU. Yeah. I might have took that when I was talking to him as maybe that's going to force him away from LSU a little bit. Maybe he doesn't like that pressure. So I think a lot of kids in Louisiana see that. And as you mentioned, Alabama went into Louisiana numerous times last year. Got terrific talent like Isaiah Buggs, like Phildarian Mathis. Can they go into Louisiana again and get a top prospect like Glenn Beal?
Final recruit prospect, we're going to talk about another in-state player, this one a linebacker.
Yeah, Cavante Ruggs from the state of Alabama. And don't you always see this a lot, Chad? Alabama offers this young man, then all of a sudden the floodgates open. He's received 13 offers since Alabama offered him. The Crimson Tide were the first school. They, along with Ole Miss, are in the mix for him out of the Southeastern Conference. Cavante was in Tuscaloosa this past weekend at an Alabama camp. I think he loves the Crimson Tide. I'd be surprised if he's not a member of this recruiting class.
He is Gridiron Now recruiting analyst Ryan Green. My name is Chad Scott. Again, stay tuned to gridironnow.com and our Facebook page right here as we lead you up into the season, but into recruiting season and National Signing Day 2018 as well.